But of course, we'll not discuss every verse because otherwise we'll be here till morning. And that we don't want. But I'll give you the thread in Bhagavad Gita, what's happening. Why Krishna inspired this Arjuna to hear this dialogue. And what is the theme of this book. And that's important to understand, because if we don't understand the theme of the book, then we can get confused. You see, there is... just give me... Yes. So there is one person, many people read Bhagavad Gita, but then they say, okay, Bhagavad Gita is a book for... Bhagavad Gita teaches you how to do your work efficiently. Many people come to this conclusion, no? But that might be a principle in Bhagavad Gita, but that's not the aim of Bhagavad Gita. Like suppose for example, you hear all my lecture, entire lecture you hear, and then I ask you, so what did you learn in the lecture? So you say, okay, I learned one thing, that your name is Dr. Keshav Anand. Is it good? That was a part of lecture, but that was not the lecture. And that's the point. If we don't understand the theme of this book, we will take parts of this book and think that is the aim of this book. But that's not the aim of this book. There are many things said in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is talking about health. Krishna is also talking about in Bhagavad Gita for example, about how mind works. Krishna is also talking about how society works. So many things. But message is something else. And if we want to summarize the message of Bhagavad Gita, that is in just 2 questions. Can we just do something with him? Okay, thank you. So, just 2 questions we have to answer. Who am I and what is the purpose of my life? And the answer to these 2 questions is Bhagavad Gita. That's all. Simple. You know what? One person who was reading Quran, and he read Quran, and he stopped coming to the masjid. He stopped coming there. And then that imam, their saints are called imam. He thought, what's happening? Why he's not coming to this masjid? So he asked, why you're not coming? He said, I read in Quran that don't come to masjid. He said, come on, I've been reading whole life and you are saying it's written in Quran? He says, yes, I can show you. He said, okay, show me. So then he brought this Quran and he showed, okay, here this is written. Don't come to masjid. But then the problem was that was the last line of that page. And he said, okay, turn the page and see the next line. And the next line was, with slippers. Half knowledge is very dangerous. That's that problem. So many of us know Bhagavad Gita and have heard Bhagavad Gita here, there, television, piecemeal, but we have not learned Bhagavad Gita. Hearing and learning is different thing. So that's why we have to learn this book systematically. When I speak to you something, it's a dialogue. It's a monologue. No, I'm speaking you something. So I'm thinking something, and there are some thoughts going on in my mind. There's a connection between each thought, and there's a conclusion. No, beginning, middle, and end, and then conclusion. And that's how we understand this book. So what this book is all about? This book is having 18 chapters, 700 verses, and it begins with first chapter, which is the life of Arjuna and also our own lives. So, and the conclusion of first chapter is that just as Arjuna is so unhappy and stressed and frustrated, similarly we are also unhappy, stressed and frustrated. No? Is it? You might not agree to me. You might say, I am not stressed, I am not frustrated, I am stressed, but I am not frustrated. Many people might not agree, especially when they are young. Youths do not agree this, no? We are having fun time. Bikes and girls, and it's why you are saying life is so frustrating and stressed. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yehi samsprija sukha. He says, well, there's a difference between happiness and comforts. That's what he says. Our civilization can give us comforts, but not happiness. You can be in a very comfortable car, but be super depressed. Is it? It can happen. You can be in a very comfortable place with all gadgets, with everything, but very frustrated. So this society can give us technology, appliances, comforts, of course. Just like this sofa, it's so comfortable, no? It's comfortable. But I can be unhappy sitting on the sofa. Is it? I can be unhappy. So happiness and comforts are different. Don't confuse with that. And Krishna says, what is real happiness? What is real happiness? Real happiness is born of peace. That is real happiness. Kuta shanti, kuta sukham. There is no question of happiness without peace. So he explains this. You can't say I am full of anxieties and I am happy. That doesn't mean. Does it mean anything? Nothing. No. I'm super anxious, but I'm very happy. No. So real happiness is based on peace, and peace is born of satisfaction. Because you can't say I am peaceful, but I am absolutely not satisfied. When you're satisfied, then you are peaceful. When you are peaceful, then you are happy. Makes sense, no? This is said in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a manual of life, and it will tell you how to live life. There is no manual of life anywhere in this entire world. No, there is no manual of life. There is manual of television, manual of Apple iPhone. There is manual of car. But what about manual of life? What do you do with that? Where is that manual of life? We are not born with that. This is manual of life. This book, our scriptures. And what is more important, to operate your appliances or to operate your life? Life, yeah, that is more important. So Krishna defines. Krishna gives us definition, gives us insight into life. See, please wait and see what you are doing. Generally, we are in a race, no, in this material world. Keep on running. But we don't think what we are doing with our life. So if you think properly, it is very easy to understand that this civilization is based on comforts but not happiness. Vedic civilization in India, maybe 50 years back, there might not be so much comforts, no? There might not be so much comforts. People might be, even if you go to villages now, people are just sitting under the tree, is it? And they are sitting on a cot. वो भी क्या कहते हैं, रस्सी की खटिया यहाँ. They're sitting on a cot under a tree, small house, and so happy. On the other hand, you might be sitting in a palace and big building, but you're not happy. So how that is possible? Why he is so happy? Because happiness is, Krishna says, is within and not outside. Those who are satisfied within, they are the most happy people. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So don't look for comforts. Comforts cannot give you happiness, because comforts is coming from outside. These things. But happiness comes from inside. There's a difference. They are looking at a wrong place. So if you want to be happy, Krishna says, be peaceful. But if you want to be peaceful, be satisfied. If you want to be satisfied, then reduce your desires. If you have so many desires, then how will you be satisfied? No, is it? I want this, so many things. If your desires keeps on increasing, you can never be satisfied. That is why Krishna says, Santushtam hi manah Krishna. The greatest asset of any person is satisfaction. It's not wealth. It's not prestige. That is satisfaction. So, okay, fine. So we understood that we are actually not happy. We are having a comfortable life. And whatever small happiness we experience, that's a shadow. Not real happiness. Because nobody can say, if you ask anybody in this world, are you happy? They might say yes. But if you ask them, are you peaceful? No. Nobody will say no. And if you tell them, are you satisfied? Come on. Absolutely not satisfied. I have to do so many things. There's so much planning. And that was the situation of Arjuna in first chapter. That is first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was not peaceful, not satisfied, not happy. He was facing problems. And we all face this problem. No? We have a lacuna inside. There's something missing inside. We all feel like that. Is it? And that is why anyway, I'll come to this point later. So, what's the solution? How do we get that happiness, peace and satisfaction? What to do? That is second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now Krishna gives us a solution for our problems of life, of our unhappiness, anxiety, stress. And there are so many books written on stress management, no? Stress. Many people talk about stress. We were just listening. Motivational speakers, this. There are so many techniques. Or in Hindi, I would like to call it jugaad. You know this jugaad? Jugaad to nahi? Pata nahi, I don't know what you say in English. This jugaad, I don't know. But something.
Source.
No.
Handy.
Handy? No.
Jugglery thing?
Jugaad.
It's like a handyman kind of.
Yeah, just like if you go to India, you know what they do? You have that rickshaw, cycle rickshaw, and they put a motor inside it. It becomes a like three-wheeler like that rickshaw. That's called jugaad. You put a generator in that rickshaw, and then you drive that rickshaw. That's called jugaad. So all these techniques of stress management, that's all jugaad. That's all. That will work for some time, but it will fail. After some time it fails. And you also lose money. They charge you so heavily, But Krishna will give you free advice. Because this is manual of life. Gita is giving you free advice. It's very simple to be happy. It's like almost you're thirsty and there's a river flowing besides you. And you are dying of thirst. It's like that. It's so simple. There is a river. Drink water from that. But you're shouting, where is water? Where is water? And you're asking everybody, where is water? It's right there. So that's what Krishna said. It's so easy to become happy. And the first thing you have to understand if you want to become happy is, who are you? There second chapter begins. Who are you? Dehinosmin atha dehe kaumaram yavnam jara. We all know this shlok. And why Krishna says first you have to understand who are you. Otherwise whatever you do, you will not be happy. Why? Because suppose if you lose your memory now, at this point, all of you lose your memory. What will happen? Can you imagine that? You can't even imagine that. Suppose you forget your name, your house, your car, everything. What's going to happen? It's the same situation, same place, you have same phone in your pocket, same wife, same life, but you'll be put into anxiety, because you forget yourself. So everything you have, but immediately you have put into anxiety. That's what Krishna says. If you don't know who are you, you will always be in anxiety, although you have everything with you. And that is why we are now in anxiety now. We are in anxiety. Our mind is going here and there, Is it? Doesn't settle at one place. Because we have forgotten ourselves. But problem is we don't know that we have forgotten ourselves. Even this problem we don't understand. What to talk of solution. And that's why we go to doctors. Doctor sahab, kya ho gaya mujhe? What happened to me? Like I'm not feeling well, something has happened. And doctor not only tells you the solution, first he diagnoses the problem, no? Okay, this is a problem and this is a solution. So we are not feeling well now. So when we go to a doctor, when we go to Gita, Krishna tells, okay, this is a problem and this is a solution. You don't even understand what's the problem now. And that's called illusion. So Krishna says, okay, the problem is you don't know who are you. The problem is we just, Prabhupada gives that example of fish. If fish is out of water, can it be happy? No. No, is it? It can have everything, but it can't be happy because it has to go back in the water. And that's what our life is all about. So there's one poet, Bhartrihari. And he says in his, Bhartrihari, he was from Ujjain. He's a big poet, big king, and big saint. And he wrote a book, Vairagya Shatakam. You know that? And in that book he writes, young fear old age. And old fear death. And beauty fears ugliness. Rich fear taxes. Scholars fear debates. And sense gratifiers fear diseases. And then he says, who in this material world is not full of fear? There's just one person who is having no desires. Only he is not having fear. Otherwise everybody has fear. And that is what is, we are all full of fear inside us. Our whole life is based on fear. And so Krishna says, okay, fine. If you want to get out of it, Bhayam Dvitya Vineveshitasya Adishata Paitasya Viparyo Smriti. This Bhagavatam says, if you want to get out of this problem of frustration, anxiety, fear, stress, you do one thing, you understand who are you. And to understand who are you, it's very simple. Very, very simple. You don't need science for that. By the way, everything cannot be understood by science, is it? It's not right to say, it's not a right proposal to say everything can be understood by science. That in itself is a wrong thing, because some things are beyond science. Some things are beyond limits of science. Like for example, I'll give you an example. If you go to aesthetics, field of aesthetics, you know aesthetics? Aesthetics? Beauty? Can science understand beauty? Okay, this picture, this nice picture. If you put a camera, put a laptop, put artificial intelligence, feed the artificial intelligence into that computer, take the data, can it say it is beautiful? No. You can give the data, but then we have to put an interpretation into that. This is beautiful or ugly, is it? It cannot decide. So beauty is one thing which is beyond science. You can't say. Aesthetics. What about morals? Right and wrong. Right and wrong also science cannot decide. Science can give you some gadget, but how to use it, that you have to decide. In a right way or wrong way, is it? Am I correct? You can use that phone for good purposes. You can use that phone for communicating with devotees, or you can use that phone for communicating with terrorists. That's up to you. So right and wrong, science cannot decide. It can give you things, how to use it, that is you. And what about love? Can science, is there any theory to understand love? Scientific theory? Quantum physics? No, you can't understand love. So if you're kissing your girlfriend and you say, you know what, I want to understand what's happening in kissing. Maybe my molecules and your molecules are at some relative pressure, and then that's why we are feeling happy. It doesn't happen like that. No. These things are beyond science. I'm not saying, many philosophers like Mac Collins and many other philosophers, they have this problem that society is based on science, but science cannot capture something. At least these three things: ethics, aesthetics, and love. And this is what life is all about, no? Life is all about ethics, right and wrong. Life is all about beauty. Life is all about love. And that is beyond science. And what we are doing, we are just doing science. And that is why we are missing this aspect of life. There is no love. There is no love. There are so many divorces now. Previously, marriages were based on relationship and love and trust. Now marriage is based on fear. Is it? We can break anytime. Concept of beauty is lost. If you ask any artist, there is no concept of beauty now among artists. There is a concept of creativity and surprise. Anything which surprises you, that's beautiful. That's now the concept has come. Beauty is not beauty. And that is why you see fashion designing, it's changed. Fashion designing, you can put your hair straight in the you can put any kind of dress and that's beautiful. It seems beautiful, but that's conception is changing. And what about so all these things, so that's what Krishna begins his Bhagavad Gita as. He says, don't use science in everything, use common sense. Some things can be understood by intuition and common sense. So these things can be understood by intuition, no? You don't need science to understand somebody loves somebody. It's intuition. You got my point? It's not logic, it's not algorithms. It is beyond that. So you can see, you can understand, okay, this is love. You can understand, okay, this is right, this is wrong. Everybody understands. Even thieves, when they talk among themselves, they say, be truthful. Come on, he's a thief. But then he likes to steal, but then he says, don't steal my things. Everybody understands what is right, what is wrong. It is there. It is there in us. That's intuition. And so you just have to, Krishna says, just sit and think. And you will understand who are you. It's very easy to understand just by intuition, just by thinking. And he gives an example. Now, he gives an example, very simple example. We are not thinking, we are not sitting in one place. And that's called meditation. Meditation is you sit and think deeply. Meditation is not you sit and and then what do you do? Nothing. No, that's not meditation. Meditation is to meditate on knowledge. So what those rishis are doing, they are sitting and thinking deeply. Okay, what is happiness? What is peace? What is satisfaction? Okay, all these things. Just like we were talking. And then, and can we understand all these things by science? No. I'll give you another example. Suppose, what about pain? What about pain? Do you need science to understand pain? What do you say? No. You can know you are in pain. Is it? It's very simple. Can everybody come forward? Pain doesn't require any equations, no apparatus, no experiment. You all know you are in pain. Simple. No? We can immediately understand I am in pain. And we can understand he is in pain. You don't need science. You need intuition. And you need your experience. I am in pain. Okay, that's good. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is everybody sitting in this room absolutely sure that you exist? I'll repeat my question. Are you absolutely sure that you exist? You exist. Is everybody sure? Or does anybody has doubt? Maybe I don't exist. Anybody?
No.
No doubts. No doubts, no? Did you do any science for that?
No.
Did you ask for any evidence? Science means I need evidence for surety. You didn't ask for any evidence. You didn't do any science, but you know that you exist, is it? So your existence doesn't need science. To prove that you exist to yourself, you don't need science. You know it. Simply you know it, is it? And that's called Swataha Praman. In Sanskrit, that's called Swataha Praman. This concept Krishna is bringing in 2nd chapter. Some things you know by your own experience. You know it. You're absolutely confident you exist. Is it? You're absolutely confident, no?
Yeah.
Now Krishna raises another question. It's all in 2nd chapter if you read properly. Krishna raises another question. Can you prove to me that you exist? Can anybody prove to me that you exist?
We can hear you, so that means we can conscious.
Can I prove to you that I exist? Are you understanding my question? Or you don't understand the question? You can't prove to me that you exist. It's impossible. Because you might say, okay, I'm talking, I'm seeing you, but you might be robots. You might be 5th generation robots. Carbon based, not silicon based. Who knows, no? Is it? How do you know that you're not robots? You can say you cut me and see. No, well, this might be all a carbon based technology, no? You might be zombies. You know zombies? Zombies are people who will behave like us, but they don't exist inside. They don't have awareness of their existence. There's so many movies. So you can never prove to me that you exist. And this leads to a philosophy of skepticism. Some philosophers say, I'm not sure that whether these people exist, but I am sure that I exist. So therefore only I exist, nothing exists. That's a philosophy, dangerous. Krishna says, samshayavad vinashyati. That's skepticism. Well, some things, you see why I'm telling you all these things. Some things are beyond science. Don't always talk of logic, science and proof. Some things you can know yourself if you sit and think. If you sit and think, can you show me the experience of pain? Can you show? You can feel the pain, but you cannot show the feeling of pain to me. I can do your brain scan and see all the, okay, this area is lightening and there's a pain, he's experiencing pain. You can shout, but at the same time you cannot show me the experience of pain. That experience is for you. It's closed for you. You can't share with anybody that you are experiencing, is it? So that is also beyond science. All these things, these are philosophers talking about this. Thomas Nagel and David Chalmers. All these people are talking about these things, and these things are talked in Gita, 2nd chapter. Krishna is bringing these points to help us understand. Forget this. Use common sense. But common sense is very uncommon. That's a problem. That is a problem. We have become very intelligent, but we have lost a common sense. That's what is happening in this society. And that's a tragedy. So, how do we prove existence of soul? Simple. Very simple. Krishna gives example. Dehinosmin yatha dehi. Krishna says, okay, you sit and think. Your body is changing, no? Your body is changing. When you were a kid, you have different photograph. When you are adult, you have different face. When you become old, you have different. But you are same. Is it? I is same. Okay, I. And you all feel young, is it? Even an old person will feel, मैं तो अभी जवान हूँ. पता नहीं होता. Everybody feels young. Everybody feels I'm the same person. No matter your body changes. And this proves, Krishna says, it's very easy to understand. You're not this body. Simple. You're not this body. Your body is changing, but you're not changing. That I doesn't change. It is always there, always there, always there. You sleep and you can forget your body. But you don't forget yourself, no? That I is there, because when you wake up, okay, I am there. That's all. So that is one example Krishna gives, that we are different from this body. We are soul. And another example Krishna gives, Vasamshi jirnani yatha vihaya. You know this verse? Krishna says, just like we remove this dress, similarly we change this body. And this is very interesting example. It might seem simple, but it's a very... Now science is coming to this example. And this example says, you see, there's a problem in science. Science cannot understand why are we are conscious of our bodies, no? We are conscious of our bodies. You are all conscious, no? Of your bodies. But we are not conscious of organs inside our body. Understand? Organs, you know organs, everybody. We are not conscious of our heart, our liver. If you ask any uneducated person, where is your liver? He can't tell. Okay? If I ask you, where is your duodenal duct? Where is that? It's somewhere here in the stomach, but where? You can't pinpoint where it is. Where is your stomach? You can't tell. Might be here, somewhere here, but exactly you can't tell. Where is your finger? Can you tell? You can tell where is your finger? This, you can point. But inside organs, we are unaware of this fact. And no science is confused. Why is this? If I am this body, I should know everything about this body. I should be conscious. If I am this machine, I should understand, I should be conscious of everything. But it's not like that. Mostly we are conscious of a form. Is it? You feel, what do you feel? You feel that you are this, 2 legs, 2 hands. Inside you don't feel anything. And most of your feeling is, you feel that you are here somewhere. Is it? Are you in your leg? You don't feel like that, no? You don't feel that you are in your thumb. Anybody feels like that? Most of us, we feel in. So where are we in our body? Somewhere here, is it? Maybe here in the behind the eyes. We feel like that, and that's why we see other people in the eyes. Okay, he's there. This is all Upanishads and Gita talking. Oh, everything. So why is this? Because we are not this body. We are not this body, therefore we don't have full feeling of this body. We don't have. Just like we are not the shirt. Therefore we wear this shirt, but we don't feel that this shirt is made of threads. You don't feel that, no? It's made of threads. It is made of threads. But you don't feel. There is a shirt. Okay, fine. Similarly, we have bodies, but we don't feel that we are not having full feeling of the body. That's this verse. Vashamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani nigrani grano aprani. Krishna says this is like a dress. Just like you don't have full feeling of dress, you don't have full feeling of body. Just like you can leave dress in night, similarly you can leave this body at time of death and take another body. Simple, no? Very simple. This is all Krishna, this is all, he's talking in a very scientific language, if you want to understand scientifically. And then there is one more verse Krishna says about existence soul. He says, okay, why do you feel that you are one? Are you many parts or one? What do you feel inside? You are made of many things or you are just one person? One person, no? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, so what's that? What's that? Consciousness is everywhere? Yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Avinashi tutat vidhi, yena sarvamidam tatam. Krishna says, this thing, soul, is one. It is not made of many parts. And we have this feeling of oneness, no? Suppose if I give you stones in your hand, and if you hold it, close your eyes, stone holds many stones in your hand. What feeling you will get? That there are many stones, is it? If you hold one stone, you have feeling of one stone. If you hold many stones, you have feeling of many stones. So there are many things in this bag. Brain, liver, stomach, everything. But we don't feel that, oh my God, so much thing is filled in me. Do you feel like that? No. You know what, doctor, take my liver out. I'm feeling so, it's all stuffed up inside. Take this heart and liver and intestines. My God, I feel stuffed up. You don't feel like that. We feel just one, not many. Because we are soul. Soul is one. It's not composed of many. So Krishna gives you very logical reasons to understand your spirit soul, you are not this body. Very logical reasons. And this is right, second chapter, beginning. And then Krishna says, okay, fine. Krishna says, fine. No, this is easy to understand. You are soul, you are not this body. Simple. The symptom of soul is thinking, feeling and willing. Prabhupada says, thinking, feeling, Sat Chit Anand. So Sat means willing to do something, and Chit means thinking, and Anand means feeling. Thinking, feeling, willing. Well, if you are just this body, if you are brain, you cannot explain how do you feel. Because brain is made of atoms and molecules, is it? Brain is made of dead molecules and atoms and nerves. How can a bunch of molecules feel? No answer. It's a hard problem in science. How can a bunch of molecules decide something? No answer. How can a bunch of molecules thinking have intuition? No answer. So science cannot explain all these things. So it is very easy to understand. In fact, a child can understand you are not this body or soul. It's big educated people cannot understand. Prabhupada says even a child can understand if you simply read this. Okay, and then now the question comes, if I am soul, I am not this body, what should I do? That is third chapter. Third, fourth and fifth chapter. Krishna says, okay, you are soul, you are not this body, so you should act on the platform of soul and not act on the platform of body. Don't waste all your time on this body. Use your time to nourish your soul. Do something for soul. But this whole society gives you options only for body. Is it? Is there any shop? Is there any Walmart? Any Target? Where there is counter? This is for soul. Nothing. Everything for body. Clothes, cosmetics, food. We are doing everything for this body, but we are not doing everything for our soul, who we are. Naturally you will be full of anxieties and stress. How is it possible you will not be unhappy? Is it? If you do everything for your neighbor and if you don't do anything for yourself, what's happening? You will not be happy. So you are not doing everything for yourself, but for this dress. You can't be happy. It's impossible. And that is third, fourth, fifth chapter. Krishna says, okay, fine, this body is important. We are living in this. You have to take care of this. But don't invest much time into that. Invest time on spirit. That's what this verse is, Upanishad. Utishto jagrita prape varan nibodhatha. Famous words. Awake, arise. Utishta jagrita prape, attain. And realize the absolute truth. Realize yourself. All Upanishads are saying, don't waste your life. Don't waste your life in things which you are not. Which you are not. Why do you waste your life in that? Invest your time in what you are. Third, fourth, fifth chapter, Krishna gives us advice. Okay, use your time. But the point is, what should I do for soul? Now, for body we understand what can we do. It's easy to understand. You can decorate this body, food, for mind, some education, something. But for soul, what to do? Seventh chapter, Krishna begins, okay, if you want to understand what to do for soul, then first you have to understand who is God. Because there is a connection of soul and God. And if you don't understand God, then you don't understand what is the action of soul. You can't understand, no? So, what do you mean by acting on platform of soul? For that you have to understand God, because soul acts for God. And body acts for, flesh acts for flesh, soul acts for soul. You understand? So this body will act for bodies, society. This is small body, this is big body, no? Social body. And spirit, soul, we are soul, and there is super soul. That is called God. So then 7th chapter he gives knowledge of God. And to understand existence of God is very easy. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th chapter. He talks about God. So again he says, you don't need science to understand that there is God. In fact, if you read science, you might think that there is no God. That might be the conclusion. But it's very simple. Krishna says that verse, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam prabhava. The beautiful verse. In one verse he gives evidence of existence of God. It's very simple. Now suppose you have water, glass of water. And how do you know that the glass of water is salty or sweet? How do you know that? To taste it, no? You can't see it and tell because salt dissolves in the water. Is it? So some things you can know by effect. The effect of salt is to make it salty. You can't see the cause, but you can see the effect. So Krishna says, yes, I am there. In Vedas, it is said by Krishna that I give evidence to man, of evidence of my existence to man at every moment. But he is so fool that he cannot see it. Every second he's giving the evidence of his existence. And it's very simple. He says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, everything comes from me. So science cannot figure out where everything comes out. Science says Big Bang. Mostly it's Big Bang, no? You know Big Bang, no? Big Bang theory. Everything blast and things come. But the question is, okay, everything banged and science came. Creation came. But the question is, who banged that bang? There was one scientific conference, and the scientist was saying everything comes from Big Bang. So one student asked him, so who banged that? Who started that bang? No. So that scientist said that question is not allowed. He said that. And I was in that conference. And he was a Nobel Prize winner. So what is the first cause? What is the cause of all causes? There has to be some intelligence there who is moving this every moment. Initial cause has to be some intelligence which is moving something, no? Everything bang cannot happen by itself, no? A point banged itself and it doesn't make any sense. Big Bang theory, there's a scientist who has written a book on Big Bang, Goodbye to Big Bang. Bye-bye to Big Bang. And he writes, what is Big Bang theory? Big Bang theory is that from nothing comes something. And that something somehow becomes something else. And then that something else somehow becomes fire, air, ether and earth. And then that somehow becomes planet. And on that planet somehow life comes. And from that life somehow monkeys come. And that from monkeys somehow we are there. And that's the story of your creation, Big Bang and life. Doesn't make any sense. There's so many gaps there. So first cause is God. That is why whenever you see stars and moons and sun, you can remember God. You can remember God because He started this bang. First creation, first thing. And then things start moving, no? So suppose, I'll give you an example. Suppose if you see an arrow. Suppose somebody shoots. Suppose if you see a bullet is going in the air. Or if you see a missile is going, no? This cruise missile, it's going in the air. So what do you infer by that? It's going in the air, that missile. But somebody has shot it, no? Is it? That's why it's going in the air. It's not just moving always. Similarly, when you see sun moving, moon moving, any motion you see, that's God is the cause of that. Time moves, is it? Time moves or not? Past, present and future. Krishna says, I am time. Nobody in science has explained what is time. We accept time as reality. Newton, Einstein, quantum. There's an axis, time. Is it? Without time you can't do anything. But what is time? Nobody knows. And it keeps on moving. That's also surprising. Why time is not stationary? Krishna says, Aham, what's that? Aham Kala? Kalo Asmiyam. I am time. And I move in form of time. That is what Gita informs us. So, it's so simple to understand God. And then Krishna says, Mattha sarvam pravartate. There's another evidence of God. One is outside in this universe. One is inside you. And that evidence is your genes. You have heard about genes? Genetics? You know genes, no? So, G-E-N-E-S, not J-E-A-N-S. Not that. G-E-N-E-S. Genes. So we have genes. In America you hear about genes and genetically modified whatever. But Krishna says in Gita, Aham matta sarvam pravartate. I am the cause of all causes. I am the cause of information in this material world. Pravartate means to do something. To do something you need information. Is it? To do anything you need information. And our genes have information to make a body. Is it? Everybody knows genetic code. We have information. But the biggest question is from where that information is coming. Who has coded in our genes? Nobody knows. Genes are formed of carbon, hydrogen, DNA, nucleic acid. So you can say, okay, fine. At the beginning of creation, there are molecules in a primordial soup. You know this theory? there's an ocean and there are fat, nucleic acid, they combine to form genes. You can say all these things, but where is the information coming from? You understand? There's a difference. Information has to be put by some intelligent being. You can have a computer, but who writes the software? A programmer. Program means programmer. There's a program in our genes and you need a programmer. Program doesn't come by itself. You can make any type of machine, super complex machine, you have to program it. Even artificial intelligence, you have to program first. No? So, who is that? So there is evidence of God within you. Simple. Krishna says, so that God exists, and then Krishna says afterwards, that is 7th, 8th, 9th chapter, 10th and 11th and 12th chapter, Krishna says, okay, now what you should do? God is there, you are soul, you are not this body, and the action of soul is to link itself with God. So soul wants to connect with God. That is yoga. That is the meaning of yoga. Yoga means union, is it? Yoga doesn't mean exercises, simple. Generally now we think yoga means exercises. Now that's what we think. But yoga means to connect. Connect your soul with God. That is where we should spend our time. We should not spend our time on these bodies always. We should not spend our time on comforts. Actually, scripture says people who spend their time just for comforts, that is not human life. Human life is for austerities. Human life is to take some pains to understand who are you and to connect yourself with God. That is called tapasya. You have heard this? Tapas. So no gain without pain. Some hard work you have to do. Just like now you are doing hard work to understand my talks, no? You need some kind of concentration there. Otherwise you can't understand. So that is 12th and 13th chapter. Especially 12th chapter. Krishna says, okay, that is called yoga, that is called bhakti, devotion. So we chant Krishna's name, God's name, to connect with Him. Connect with Him. That His name is like a telephone number. You dial it and connect with Him. So your soul connects with God, unites with God. And that's enough, that's good. So that is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to understand yourself, understand God and connect to Him. Okay, fine. But then question is, who is God? That's a big question. But before that, in 13th and 14th chapter, Krishna says, if you connect to me, automatically you get happiness, peace, satisfaction, which you are searching for. Don't go after happiness. Come to me and you will get everything. That's good. So if you have sun, you automatically have light and heat. But if you want to have light without sun, you will have neither light nor sun. So that is 13th and 14th chapter. If you connect with God, automatically you get all good qualities, peace, satisfaction, happiness. You don't have to work separately from that. Just connect to Him. And then 15th chapter, Krishna says, who is God? That biggest question. And he says, 15th chapter, so all devotees, can anybody tell? What's the verse in Gita tells? Who is God? 15th chapter. No, 15th chapter. Famous verse, almost last verse. 15.15? No. I've given you hint. Last chapter. Okay, last verse, almost last. No. Yo mam evam jana. What's that? Yeah. Yo mam evam asammuda janati purushottamam. So sarvavid bhajti mam sarva bhavena bharata. He gives his conclusion. Who is God? Krishna says, Yo mam evam asammudo. Anybody who knows me as God, without doubt, janati purushottamam, he is the most intelligent man. So Krishna declares, I am God. Simple. All other beings like Lord Shiva, Durga, Ganesh, they are all demigods. They are like angels. And they serve Krishna. That's what Bhagavad Gita explains. That's what all Vedas explain. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Yada Pashyanti Surya. There is no confusion. Above earth there is no confusion. He is God. Below earth there is no confusion, there is God. Only in this earth, and especially in India, there is a lot of confusion who is God. Everybody is God, you are God, I am God. It doesn't make any sense. God is one, supreme. And Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas and Gita says, okay, Krishna says, I am God. Yes. So he says, Yomam evam asamudho, without doubt, I am God. If you read last verse of Bhagavad Gita of every chapter, Krishna declares, I am God, I am God, I am God. 5th chapter, last verse, what's that? Bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram. I am sarvaloka maheshwaram. I am the Lords of Lord. I am the God of all planets. Is it? And then Krishna says, this verse, Matta parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. There is nothing superior to me, nothing equal to me. Again and again he is saying, I am God. And then, so we know Krishna is God. 16, 17, 14, 15 chapter. 16, 17 Krishna says, okay, come to me, take shelter of me, and I will give you everything. Don't worry. 18 chapter is, Krishna says, you fix the aim of your life. What is the purpose of your life? Fix the aim of your life to love me. Don't just connect with me. Love me. That's a deeper connection now. So boss can be connected to employee, but that's not connection with love. That's official connection. So 18th chapter Krishna says, don't connect to me officially. Some worship, some puja. No, connect to me eternally with love. That is 18th chapter. And that is the purpose of human life. So Gita begins with this question, who are you? You are spirit soul, not this body. And you are related to God. And it ends with this chapter, what is the purpose of your life? Purpose of life is to love Him and to be loved by Him. Both ways. And if we can do that, happiness, peace, satisfaction, we'll automatically get it. No problem. That is side effect. Side effect of devotion. That is like, you can say side effect. In front of love, peace is nothing. Nothing, no? In fact, if you love somebody, you can leave your peace, is it? Like mother and child. So because mother loves the child, she takes all pains to care for the child. She can forego peace for love. Love is so great. That is the aim of human life. That is Bhagavad Gita. Simple. So this is 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So I request you, please read this book nicely. This is the manual of a life. You might not understand in one shot, but if you keep on reading it, this book will reveal to you what is this knowledge. Don't miss this knowledge in your life. At least read once in your life. At least once. Read it like a novel, no problem. We read newspapers, why not this book? So people who are new, at least I request, read once. And how to read it? It is simple. Keep this in your bag. You eat, you walk, you sit anywhere. Whenever you get time, just open and read it. That's how you read it. That's all. That's all you read. You read it like a novel, not like a scripture. If you read it like scripture, you will not understand anything. If you read like a novel, then you will understand. Because we like novels, no? We don't like scripture. Then we can read it again and again. And it's very interesting. Once you understand how these verses are applicable in my life, they are functioning in my life. By these verses, you can see what is happening behind the background. How the society is moving, how I'm moving. Then it will become more interesting because you can apply it in your life. No, it's a book to apply. It's not a book to read. So it becomes interesting, and then your life is successful. Simple, so simple. It's very simple. For devotees, at least they should read Bhagavad Gita at least 50 times. At least 100 times you should be reading before we die. But if you read it once, twice, thrice, you will again read it. I will not have to tell you. If you eat pizza once and cake once, what will happen? You will want more, is it? This book is like that. So you can have this book, and thank you very much. This is Bhagavad Gita. I'll stop.
Something on download.
So any questions? Otherwise, I've explained you Bhagavad Gita. Everybody understood Gita? Okay. So now your life is perfect. At least you understood theoretically. At least once you heard Bhagavad Gita. So any questions anybody want to ask? Otherwise I'm done. Yeah. So how is it?
Thank you for the wonderful and deeply meditating and enlightening lecture. Really appreciate it. Fortunately or unfortunately today in this world there's a lot of confusion on different scriptures. Everybody says my path is the greatest and there is a lot of conflict and confusion.
Yeah.
So how do we take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and then...
Yeah, you are right. God sends one message and man divides it into millions. So the confusion is because of us. If anybody has read Quran, you have seen Quran? At least seen. Bible, anybody has read Bible? Read? Old Testament, New Testament, both? Okay. So if you read Bible, Quran, Gita, if you read them, you will find exactly the same thing. Exactly same thing. Bible is talking about 10 commandments, no? Old Testament. Love thy Lord with all thy strength, all thy mind, all thy body, no? It says, and that's this message of Bhagavad Gita, love God. So, what is Islam? Islam means surrender. That word Islam means surrender. That's what Gita says, surrender unto me. So, principle is same, details might differ. Principle is same, but details is okay. We do puja like this, they do puja, they sit in one place, no, all that, they sit in that and then they pray like that. So principles and process might differ, but principles are same. Process, details might differ, but principle is same. So you have so many cars, but principle is same, engine. So that people are fighting on process and details, and they've forgotten principles. And that is why ISIS, and there's a chaos in this world. And there's nobody to tell these principles. People, it's more of politically motivated. But if you can read all these books, there's just one message. All scriptures, there's no saint who will say that there's something beyond this body. This is unanimous, is it? Spirit, Ruh, soul, whatever you call. Everybody understands, Kabbalah, Sufi, everybody says, you're not this body. Matter is not everything. That's, of course. Everybody recognizes there's a superior power beyond you. Some might call it God, some might call us different names, but there is a superior power. So there's absolutely no confusion. It's a matter of reading those scriptures, that's all. That's all. Krishna means all attractive. God has many names. Krishna means all attractive. And what's the meaning of Allah? You know? What's the meaning of Allah? What's the meaning of Allah? All great, yeah. All great. And what's the meaning of Jehovah? You know the Jehovah? They call us Jehovah. This means Almighty Father. And all traditions say if you want to connect to God, you should chant His holy names. So we chant His holy name, Hare Krishna, no? And Islamic people, they chant 99 beautiful names of Allah. You know this? 99 names of Allah. And Christians, not all, but at least Orthodox Christians, they chant 72 names of God. If you read English, King James Version, everything is translated as God. But if you go to original Hebrew, there are different names of God. Adonai, Jehovah, 72 names. And they chant on beats. So even the process is same to a certain extent. So there is God, there is you, there is chanting of holy names, and you love Him. This is clear in all religions, all true scriptures. But you have to read it, that's all. No confusion. Absolutely. That's why I wrote that book. Where is that book? Can you show that? I think she bought it. Yeah, that's why I wrote this book, Crazy Ideas. Asking this. So there are all these ideas are there, so many scriptures, so many gods, what's happening, what is right, what is wrong. So you have to do some research and then find out. So of course, but to do that research you need time and some kind of intelligence to understand that language, training. But because you don't have time, I wrote this book. So I learned Sanskrit, Arabic, Hebrew also to read that original, little bit Hebrew, and then I read an original and then saw this. It's absolutely the same. Absolutely, in fact, beautiful, and I like Bible. The beautiful stories of surrender to God and sacrifice and love for Him. So this book, I have put all those knowledge in this book, Crazy Ideas, all these questions like that, and given you evidences from various scriptures, from philosophy, Western and Indian philosophy, from Bhagavad Gita. So you can take this book, and many people might ask you so many questions, and you can answer them confidently. Not just from Gita, you can answer them from Upanishads, Puranas, from philosophers like Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Ludwig Wittgenstein, from Indian philosophers, Kanad, Gautam, Kapila. And why people will not accept? Why they will not accept? So this book I have written for that answer of yours. So there is no confusion. Confusion is in darkness, not in light. If you keep yourself in darkness, you will be confused. But if you have light of knowledge, no confusion. Absolutely no confusion. Anyway, it's a good question, yeah.
One more question. So, acting on the platform of soul is not really the aim of life. But to live in this world, we also need to act on the place of God, on a bodily platform, because we cannot live for a long time. So, how to synchronize between the two so that
Gita suggests we are not this body, we are soul. But Gita suggests you act on platform of soul and not at platform of body. The meaning is you give more importance to soul than body. Now we give more importance to body and no importance to soul. Soul doesn't exist in a picture. And so the meaning is you give importance to soul more than body. And that's what Bhagavatam says. Jivasya tattva jigyasa labho jiveta yavata. That you work to sustain your life. That's all. For bare minimum necessities. What do you need? Food, clothing and shelter. That's all. Work for that some prestigious life in the society. Okay, you can do that. After that, forget it. After that, work for higher cause. Perfect for life. So that's the idea. The importance, the concept of importance we are talking about. We don't neglect this body, but we don't give so much importance to this. Is it just like this sofa? Now people might be taking care of the sofa, is it? You clean this sofa, you take care. But is it you give that much importance to it as you give importance to your kids? No, this sofa. Similarly body. You take care, but importance is for soul. That's what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. So if there's no question. Yeah.
You said we do worships, we do pujas, different stuff. How do you know you love God? I mean, is it just chanting?
Okay, this is a good question. The good question. How do I know that I love God? So Gita gives us symptoms of love. How do I know I am in pain? You will cry. How do I know I am having dysentery? You will have fever. Is it? There's symptoms, and so there's symptom of pain, and the symptom of love. And Krishna describes symptoms of love in 6th chapter and 3rd chapter. And what are those symptoms? So Krishna says, anybody who is in love with me, he will not be disturbed in sorrows and happiness. It is there. Sita Pragasya ka bhasha. Can you give that? Can you open that? Sita Pragasya. You know that? So he says, he will not be disturbed in sorrow and happiness. Because when you are in love with Krishna, the small things will not affect your mind. Is it? You're having that goal. So, that's one thing. Another thing is, when we are in love with God, we will not waste time. See here. I'll read for you. Beautifully says, Oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one who is in love with you? I am just translating it. But so Krishna says, okay, fine, I'll tell you. Oh Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification. So when we give all desires for our personal sense enjoyment, then we are in love with him, no? It's very simple to understand. A boyfriend will always be thinking of pleasing the girlfriend. He's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about her. So when you're in love with God, you are thinking about Him and not about yourself. Now we are thinking of ourselves, no? Always. Suppose like it happens, suppose when you go for shopping and then you go for 2 different shops and the parents go and the wife will say, okay, let's take this cloth for Bunty, suppose, your son. And this shoes for Chintu. And this food for Mintu. I'm just leaving. So they are seeing things, but they are remembering their child. So that is called love. We see things and we remember ourselves. When we see some food, we think, this is nice, this is for me. Or this is not for me, you see. So we see ourselves in everything. And when you can see Krishna in everything, that's love. So that means when a man gives up all desires of sense gratification, he's not thinking about himself, he's thinking about Krishna. Then when he finds satisfaction in self alone, when we find satisfaction in Krishna alone and nothing else in this world will give you satisfaction except chanting His holy names, then you are in love with Him. It makes sense, no? It makes sense? So when you chant His name, you are satisfied. But when you don't chant His name, then you feel, oh, I am missing something. Let me go back to home from job and chant His names. And then you feel satisfied. You have to do other things, but you're not that satisfied doing that. That is love. Krishna says, one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, then he is in love. If there is miseries, it will not bother us. If there is happiness, we will not be jumping into air. Okay, we are balanced. Because we understand this is not the aim of life. These are small things, sorrow. These are like child's play. Just like child falls down. Sometimes you see, child falls down. And then it will not weep. It will not weep. But as soon as it sees its mother, it will start weeping. It happens like that, no? If he is alone, if a child is alone and he falls down, he will not weep. If somebody is there, especially father, mother, then he will start doing well. And so but we understand that's child's thing. Come on. So that is life. Life, the greatest miseries of life are like child's play for a self-realized person. So he's not, who is free from attachment. People who are in love with God, they are attached to God and not to anything else. That is symptom of love. We are not even attached to our own life. For us, God is more important than our life. We are attached to Him. That is love. And who is free from fear and anger. So no fear, no anger. That is bhayam dvitya vinevishata syat. The first symptom of love is abhayam. No fear of death. It's difficult to get over fear of death, is it? If somebody comes with a stain gun here, all of you will run and leave me alone. Definitely. Now Prabhuji said you are so important. But when time comes, I am important, get lost, Let him die, but who cares for that? We are free from fear and anger. That is called stage of love. Krishna says, one who is unaffected by good and evil, one who is unaffected by praise and praise and dishonor. He is unaffected. Then he is in love. Love is so absorbing that you will not notice what is. Somebody praises you, okay, because you're thinking of Krishna, no? Somebody abuses you, no problem, you're thinking of Krishna. You're absorbed in that. Absorption, it matters, no? Absorption. So like in exams, when you were studying for exams, like final exams and the next day exam, and somebody comes you and tells, you're complete nonsense. We'll say, okay, let me read. That's okay. Tomorrow's exam, I'll fail. Is it you don't really care about him. Your mother is calling, beta, sandwich, milk, mama, keep it there. You don't think about it, you are absorbed. So love is so absorbing that you don't care for praise or dishonor. That is called love. And those 3 verses he says what is love. Is it? It is love. You don't waste time. If you are in love with God, you don't waste time. You simply are always, whenever you find time, you think about Him, you praise Him, read Bhagavad Gita. This is called love. It is not easy to approach this platform, but when we do approach this platform, we can check from Bhagavad Gita. We are in love with Him. Simple, no? There is love, yeah.
What is platform of soul? What does that mean? You're talking about platform of
Yeah, to act at platform of soul. That means...
Example,
No, it is simple. Suppose, if you are Prime Minister, you will act as Prime Minister, is it? If you are Prime Minister of India, your actions will be different. If you are Prime Minister and if you come here, you will not stand like that. No. Is it? You will be standing like in a very awe and reverence posture, no? And you will be talking in a very different manner. So that is acting like a Prime Minister. If you are a terrorist, you will act in a very different way. You will not act like that. Your actions, you see? So, what you identify with, you start acting like that. If you identify with, I am a Prime Minister, you start acting like that. If you identify I am a terrorist, you start acting like that. So if you identify that you are this body, you will start acting like that. So that is the meaning of acting on that platform. If you act on the platform of body, then you will start acting in a way that everything will be directed towards body. Is it? So you will buy everything for this body. You will do everything for this body. You will plan everything for this body. But to act on platform of soul is to identify the fact that I am soul. I am not Prime Minister, I am not terrorist, I am not this body, I am soul. And then acting on platform of soul is that you have to do those actions which is beneficial to soul. Is it? And those actions which are beneficial to soul is, the only action which is beneficial to soul is praising God. Nothing else. It wants to do that. Connect yourself with God. That is the meaning of acting on platform of soul. And not wasting time on nourishing body, taking extra care of body and other things. That is acting on platform of soul. It's simple, no? It's very simple. And that symptoms, I just read, who is acting on platform of soul, this is going to happen with him. No problem. You can hit me, no problem. You are hitting my body, not me. You can abuse me, no problem. You are abusing my mind and not me. That is acting on platform of soul. And people, you know what? People, big yogis. There was one big saint in South India. He was he was like absorbed in love of God, and a lion came and ate his foot, and he didn't know. That is acting on platform of soul. You're beyond bodily concentration, even beyond bodily pain. That is acting on platform of soul. And if this happens, you will be fearless, no? Is it? Fear comes because we think we are this body. Something will happen to me. This body disease or something. Somebody will say something to me. Is it? That fear comes. If you know your soul, no fear. That's all. Finish everything. Is it clear? That's acting on platform of soul. Yeah, Mataji.
You said this is a manual for life, and any manual has do's and don'ts. So can you give some practical do's that we can practice in our life so that we can live according to principles?
Yeah, manual of life, do's and don'ts are there. And what is a do? Yeah, Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam etantasma vridavrita. Chant my holy names. That is the first do. You should always chant his names. In fact, you all are from India, you know. I don't have to tell you, all of you. When you were a child, everybody used to say Ram Ram, no? In India? At least in North India. I don't know about South India. So South India, what they used to say? Govinda, Govinda? Yeah. Govinda, Govinda. So morning when you get up, you go on roads. Now people say hi, bye. And it's all. Well, people previously, okay, Ram Ram, okay, fine. Or Krishna, Krishna, whatever. So the first do is chant the holy names of Krishna. That's what Krishna says. Daily. And the second do is read Bhagavad Gita daily. Where is that book? This book. Read this book daily. Read this book daily. I like to say, marry this book. That's what I like to say. Just like we are with our wife always, or wife is always with us. She doesn't leave us, no wife. Even if you want to leave her.
A lot of divorces these days.
A lot of... yeah, because... Yeah. But traditionally, even if you want to leave your wife, she will not let you leave her. That's Bhagavad Gita. If once you understand this, it will not leave you. It will not leave you. So that's, marry with this book. Yeah, keep it with you. And this is two do's. There are many do's, but if you do this 2 do's, enough. And don'ts, there's one don't waste your time. That's the biggest don't. Don't waste your time in superficial things, in childish things. This is all child, I'll get a big car. What is this? What is car? What is a toy? And we sit in the car and we feel, I am so happy and great. Come on. This is all childish play. So don't be like a child, be like a wise man. Not like a fool. So don't waste your time. Save time. Time will never come. Even millions of dollars cannot buy 1 second, no? So what is expensive? Money or time? Time is most expensive. Don't waste time. And for this forum, this is the don't. That's all. Not much. First let's add, and then we'll say what to delete. That's okay. That's what you have to do. Simple. Okay. So any other question, or we're going to stop here? Fine. The time is going on. The time is going. So let's stop. Just wait a minute. I just want to announce Hare Krishna.